Well, good Wednesday morning, the 28th of February 2024, riding here through the student ghetto, aka Vine Street neighborhood. And they call it the student ghetto because many students live here that attend K College and Western Michigan University. Most of these, back in when I was a kid, were single family homes. But since then, they've been converted into multiple use apartments, many of them. There's still a few single family homes left. K College is right there straight ahead. I'm gonna go here into Kalamazoo. It's the morning after the big thunderstorms, and was a tornado nearby that did quite a bit of damage. I seen a old farmer's barn, as it were. There's another dispensary right there on the corner, by the way. It was tore to pieces, but that's down by Marshall, Michigan. You can see this is a rather affluent neighborhood back in the day. This is known as the South Street Historic District, and it is very historical. The mansions and the people that lived here in the day. Gonna go by the Wood Upjohn Mansion coming up here in about 150 meters. Probably one of the most famous and well known here in Kalamazoo. And right here is its location. Dr. Upjohn's residence. Across the street, of course. All down here in South Street. And this corner were in the day, the two big mansions. The one that sat right here in the corner actually turned into a funeral home, and then a flower shop, and then it was raised. And we're gonna go right downtown here. I see nothing else damage-wise anywhere. A little water on the road. But I think Kalamazoo came through okay. We needed the rain. I'll be right back with you. Okay, make a little turn here next to the First Presbyterian Church and Kalamazoo City Hall. I don't have any bills to pay in there today. Those are actually done for the year. Of course, inside's the clerk's office where you can drop off your ballots for voting. There's a drop box right here too that you can pull up. Right next to me there, the red home with the pillars in the front, is the famous Austin Sills house. And of course, new condominiums all around that part of town. And we'll go for a little ride up here over South Park Street and see what we can find in the student ghetto. I'll be right back with you. Okay, folks, let's see what we can find here in the area. You're gonna find many homes that were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and then, of course, the 20s and the 30s. They just took off like crazy through here. The student parties when I was in high school, they'd have down here at the Common People's Market and so forth, were legendary. Whole block parties, street parties, and it's really funny because you never seen a police officer. Everything was cool. There on the top of the hill is East Hall, also known as Heritage Hall, where I take many of my sunrise videos from right up there, top of the hill overlooking Kalamazoo. Coming up here on the left, you see this 3-story brick school. This is now the El Sol School, magnet school. Behind it is old Central High School, Kalamazoo Central High School, the famous Shenry Auditorium that's still in use. But here's where I went to elementary school. And back then it was Vine Street Elementary. And our entry door back in the day was right here. And that was my classroom there on the 2nd floor in the middle, and then the 3rd floor in the top. I did 2nd, 3rd grade right there. This is our playground right out here to the side. And I would walk all the way from where Bronson Hospital is now, 5 blocks east, right up Vine Street, just like that, with the rest of the kids. A lot of kids walked to school back in that day. Right down there. And like I said before, most of these homes down through here were all single family residents. And now today, I know less than half of them still are. There is very little crime here in this neighborhood, and back in the day when I was growing up, just about 5.5 blocks from here, our neighborhood looked just like this. There was a few more shops and things that were spread amongst them, but pretty much what she looked like. There's some little graffiti there. Like to catch that whenever we can. Anyways, we'll take a little ride up here at Wheaton, one of the wider streets, because back in the day, these homes had larger front lawns, and through the years they've taken a little bit for the street. The street was all brick at one time, and the hill right here, we're on Wheaton Hill, it still is. This is going to be a little bouncy, but still is. There's the famous big blue home on the corner. A historian from Kalamazoo, very wonderful lady, lives there, her family. Boy, this is a bumpy road right here, but it's old. It's older than I am. I'm 65 years old. This beats me. Predates me, that's for sure. I'm gonna get back here in a part that they've paved. There we go. And it's funny, you get right up to the top of the hill here. Straight ahead is the Kalamazoo Regional Psychiatric Hospital with a big famous castle water tower. But we turn right here into multi-million-dollar properties, just like that, just by turning off the street. Just take a little ride down through here. Now here you have the captains of local industry living back here, judges, whatnot. Look at the back of this home up here in the trees. That's on the top street we just passed. We just drove by that property. Take a little cruise through here on the way back home. Hey, right there on top of the hill. Beautiful property, huh? Get up here a little closer. Maybe they'll let us play pickleball on the tennis court. In the summertime, this fountain is operational. It's very pretty. You come right around the corner. I've always liked this place right here. I always said if I lived back in here, this is the place I'd want to live at. And I just like the looks of it. Very nice property. Swing back inside here a second. I don't break my pinky. Now here is a private roadway that goes back down into a residence there. It's a large 2.5-story brick colonial. And we'll cruise right down through here. We just passed the residence, the past residence, Mr. James Gilmore, here of Kalamazoo fame. He was owner of the Foyt Gilmore racing team, the Gilmore Foyt racing team. AJ Foyt, who 4 wins of the Indy 500. Very famous man here. He was the Mr. Gilmore was the mayor of Kalamazoo, and I've met him several times, and he was a friend of my father's, that's for sure. And we'll head on back out here. Take another little look on the way out. A little property here. This is some new fencing. Hasn't been here that long, but it sure adds to the ambiance on the property. It'd be nice if those cauldrons were burning. Very nice backyard. Head our way back out here onto Oakland, take a little drive through the state hospital and see how the castle's doing. Be right back. Okay, we'll turn right in the front gate here of the psychiatric hospital, and there you can see the castle. It's a water tower. It's a big cylindrical water tower. Looks like a soup can that sits back in there. Around here and take a closer look. After we have big storms, it's not uncommon to have the street sweepers out. There's one in my neighborhood earlier this morning, and they're working their way all around town. There's several of them that work the town. A good thing. Still a little windy here from the remnants of the storm last night, but there's the water tower I was just speaking of, and all along through here were other large buildings, masonry buildings. Beautiful. There are places along here all the way down to Howard Street. They were called the lodges. Noble Lodge was the one on the very end, and each one housed several psychiatric patients. And the main hospital were the violent, the criminally insane, and so forth, would be held over here inside this more secure facility, very secure. No one ever was held in the tower. We'll take a closer look. Hold on. Okay, you can see the old streets here. We're on Kent Street, coming up here onto Calhoun, and you can see the barriers ahead. The street used to go on, and the lodges were all placed back there, lined up here side by side, and all gone but the streets, and of course the old trees that were here. That's hard to believe. Yesterday the temperature was 73 degrees outside. Right now it is 29 and the wind blowing, and they are calling for 12 to 15 degrees by 3 o'clock today with the wind chill. Unbelievable. It is going to be cold. Here is a wonderful, wonderful archive and facility. The Charles and Lynn Zhang Legacy Collection Center, Western Michigan University. You go in there and you'll find out anything and everything you want to know about Kalamazoo and the area, the businesses, the people. Unbelievable archive. And it's open to the public. There's parking right there. There's only 3 or 4 spots for the public to park, and the rest is for staff and students. The ROTC health tower is back in here for Western. That's where the ROTC go back there and work out. And we'll get up here ahead a little farther, and I'm gonna let this vehicle behind me, looks like he's hauling water. And here is the more secure hospital. You can see all the different rooms, the patients' rooms, and it's built as a medical facility, but very much like a prison in the way of its security. We're going to take a little turn around here real quick. I want to let this vehicle get off my 6 o'clock. I don't have any problem doing that. And he's going to be going right back up in here, the water truck. He'll stop there and they'll open that gate. There it goes, right there. And the gate's opening, and he'll go right back into that inner courtyard. And there's delivery docks in there and so forth. There's areas for patients to go out and walk around. It's very, very nice. This is very well kept. This is not a some kind of a stoogey place. A lot of respect here. Get a little closer look. Here's another view of the hospital. See the water tower. It was rebuilt, not actually rebuilt, but it was refurbished, and some of it rebuilt many years ago. It is on the list of state historic places. It's preserved. It can't be tore down. It's a historic landmark. Yeah, you can look right inside the courtyard from here. Patients have a small walking area back in here now, but it wasn't like it was in the day. Of course, nothing was anymore. Nothing was, nothing is, right? Entrances, of course, offices, patients' rooms, you can see. And we'll proceed over here and get a little bit better view of the water tower. A little bit. You see that they're building something out here. It looks like they're putting a wall up, or a fence around this area right here. They're fencing this in. That might be a new little park for the patients to walk in, securely walk. I hope so. And there's the library there again. Well, okay. From here, I think it's time to get going, head home. This building back here was their administration building, and security in this building as well. I think it still is. I think that still is what this is used for. And we'll drive out this way past the area here where Western Michigan University's ROTC, they practice out there. That's their Hell Tower. And so forth. Bet you when this is all done one day, they get new roads in here. Until then, we're good, right? Another little area right here that they have fenced off. All kinds of plans for this property. Very, very valuable piece of property here. Okay, and I'll leave you a view of what used to be the Kennedy School for the Blind, and now it's the Bureau of Services for the Blind, for blind persons. It's their training center. This is where they train not only folks who are blind, but folks that are going to be training them. And you'll see both sighted people walking along with a person who is unsighted with their cane along these streets, back and forth and up and down the side streets, practicing and training. And then you'll see them, of course, as well downtown in Kalamazoo. And then their CNI dog program, second to none. Wonderful. It's been here since I was a kid. The Kennedy Center. They just changed the name a little bit. To all of us that live here, it's been the Kennedy Center. Cleaning the streets here again. Up in this neighborhood. We're in the Oakland Drive, Howard Street Hill neighborhood right now. So I'm cruising home. There's one of the older mansions. Beautiful places along here too. And the side streets, to say the least. You get into almost all single family homes now. Very few here have apartments. This gentleman right here, back in the day, lived there. He and his wife the Mall Gift Shop downtown in Kalamazoo. And we would go in there when we were kids. They had swords, knives from all different countries, old stuff. Things from medieval times even were hanging on the walls. And then he got a little older and transitioned into more, I don't know what you want to call it, kitschy stuff. Got away from the more antique. And then they closed, and the building and that whole area there was repurposed. But his home is still here. And the memories, almost home. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being with me and traveling along with Edward.